No, no, you don't need it. Okay. All right, let's get started. Whew. Welcome to a cold moon edition of Winter Gentle Somatic Yoga. It's the last full moon of 2024. So if you're watching this in 2024, and it's also right near the winter solstice. And it's part of Yule and leading up toward Christmas and Hanukkah this year and Kwanzaa. So, and Canadian Boxing Day, which happens to be my birthday. Um, so all sorts of interesting, mostly celestial events. And there are a lot of historic traditions of things to do around this time of year. And to lead up to setting intentions for the new year, one of the things to do is to actually evaluate your past year. So if you're interested in learning more about that after class, you can send me a message. But literally, you go through month by month and you evaluate what was the best parts of the month, what things didn't go well, and people use your calendars sometimes to evaluate. And then that allows you to get rid of, anything from 2024 you don't want, so that you're freed up to start 2025. So that's just a quick summary of how you would do it, but there's a lot of details, and I've had this shared with me from some other experts. It's kind of cool stuff. So the moon salutation is a side-to-side thing, and I love to do the moon salutation once a month. The first time I'll go over it slowly, and then we'll do one more round where we'll just be a little smoother about it. And we're going again side to side. And if you are, if you like using car analogies, you're GPSing your way somewhere and then GPSing your way home when you do the moon salutation. So you completely do one thing to one side, and then you sort of do the reverse thing to the other side to come back to the middle. So start with your hands at your heart, and let's go ahead and check in. If you feel comfortable to do so, you could close your eyes and just notice how you're feeling this morning, particularly right versus left or left versus right. What are the differences you're noticing side to side? You could almost imagine that you're splitting yourself down just in the middle. And then for a moment, go ahead and either energetically or physically, by closing off the right nostril, just breathe into your left side. So if you're doing it energetically, you're not closing it off, you're just visualizing the breath coming in and out of the left side. If you're doing it physically, you could actually seal off your right nostril. So this is more lunar breathing, and it's supposed to be calming and more reflective. Let's go ahead and do the solar breathing by either energetically just breathing in and out of the right, or sealing off the left to do that. And notice the difference, maybe noticing which one is dominant for you. Release that and maybe check in to see how that felt. And the next one we'll do is we'll breathe in through the left and out the right, maybe 3 to 5 times. So you can use your hand to kind of switch back and forth, or both hands. So breathe in through the left and then out the right. In through the left and out the right. In through the left and out the right. Go ahead and do normal breathing again and see how that felt. We'll try now breathing in through the right and out the left 3 times or 4. So go ahead and seal off the left, either energetically or physically. And then out the left, in through the right, and out the left, and in through the right, and out the left. Take a pause again and check in. Just noticing what you're noticing. We'll do one last style of this, and this is actually traditional Nadi Shodhana breathing. We'll start breathing in through the left, exhale out the right, but then we'll breathe in through the right and out the left. This is the balancing breath. And again, you can do this energetically, or you can assist with sealing off one nostril at a time. So in through the left first, seal the left, and out through the right. Now in through the right, seal the right, and out through the left. In through the left, seal the left, out the right, in through the right, seal the right, out the left. One more round. In through the left, seal the left, out the right, and last time, in through the right, seal the right, out the left. So just notice how you're feeling. Just breathe normally. Obviously, if you were concentrating on one of these practices, you do it a whole lot longer. I'm just giving you a sample of it. So you might do any one of these that you feel are very beneficial for a minute or 2, depending on what you need that day. The last one was a balancing breath. The very first one was, if you want to calm down, it's always in through the left and out the right. And then if you want to energize, in through the right and out the left. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our moon salutation. I'm going to do a modified version of it, which means we're not going to come down onto our knees. We're going to do this purely standing up. There is a way, and I have a lot of videos that demonstrate also how to come down to the knees. So lift your hands up on an inhale. Interlace the hands behind the head on an exhale. Tilt over toward, I think I was going to the right first, but you can just mirror me. Tilt over toward the other side. The next time you tilt, you might draw a hand a little bit down further, and then switch that toward the other side. Now, if you want to go to the next level, you would draw your hands up to the sky. Otherwise, keep them behind your neck. So we are making the shape of a crescent moon. Now widen your feet and be careful with knees here. Be sure that your knees are tracking over the feet. So if you have to adjust your feet in more or out to do that, go ahead. Going to go in and out of a full moon, which is also known as a goddess pose. And if you're a male doing this, it's also called horseman. And then go ahead and just imagine that you're holding up the moon, but it's not weighing you down. You're just sort of connected to that moon. Okay, go ahead and gently straighten the knees and turn your toes toward the narrow end of the mat. The other leg is slightly turned in, so you have an outward hip and a slightly turned in hip. If you have sciatica, make the adjustments you need to so you're not feeling this pull in the back of your hip. We're going to move in and out of a warrior two in the Gentle Somatic Yoga style. Now, in the Somatic Yoga style, we're going only to our range of motion, and then we're releasing completely. And it's very hard to release completely when you're standing up, but just make an effort to let the muscular action go. Then re-engage, and then let it go, and re-engage. And maybe you're going a little deeper each time. Maybe your body is allowing you to feel stronger and go deeper. And then place a hand on the front thigh. Your other hand can either be on your waist, on the shoulder, or over the head. And you might even build into it. So leaning over, side angle, come back. Leaning over again, side angle, come back. Maybe your arm's going overhead. Leaning over, side angle, and coming back. Now keep the knee bent, place that hand on the waist again, support the neck, and lean back a little. Let's exalt the warrior. Really getting that side body to open up. Now re-straighten the knee, and we're building into a triangle pose. Once again, starting either with hand on waist or even supporting neck. So leaning over and releasing. Make sure you've released. Leaning over again, releasing. Now, maybe some of you are going deeper into this. Some of you might even be reaching for a block at this point and going into a full triangle. So here's the tricky part. We're going to turn now to face the narrow end of our mat. So now your hips have shifted and doing a version of pyramid pose. At this point, some of you might want to use the back of a chair or the front of a chair to help. So facing the chair, your hips are now straight, placing the hands on the lower back, you're tipping over and coming back. This is moving into a version of pyramid. And then maybe you're reaching either for the back of the chair or the front of the chair. So the thing to do here is draw the back hip forward, front hip slightly back. You're squaring off your hips as much as they'll allow, lengthening the spine. Try not to round here. So you might have to stay up really far to keep from rounding, or even just be like this. Or the wall works really well too here. And just breathe here for a moment or two. All right. Put your hands back on your back very slowly. Make your way up. Turn to face the front again. And you're going to have one knee bent on that side, the other knee bent, one knee bent, the other knee bent. And then I'm going to move my chair all the way to the other side because now we're GPSing our way home. So we need to turn completely to face this chair. Hands are on the back, going in and out of a pyramid pose. Slowly, staying within your range of motion. Maybe you're reaching for the wall, the chair. You're drawing your back hip forward. The front hip is going back, trying to square off your hips, trying to lengthen that spine, breathing. All right, from here, you might move your chair out of your way if you're using the chair. Now you've turned your back foot to face the camera again. We're going to go in and out of a triangle pose. So you can see we're reversing. We're going backward now, somewhat. It's not maybe a complete reversal. Now bend that front knee. You might extend the other leg back a little bit. And we're going to exalt the warrior and release. So exalting the warrior is leaning back, getting this side to lengthen. Open up all the rib cage and your side hips. Now place that front hand on the front leg. The other hand can either support the neck, stay on the shoulder, stay on the waist, or maybe even go overhead. Moving in and out. That's how we do it in Gentle Somatic Yoga. We work the muscle and then we purposely release. It's a contraction and a release. All right, now moving into a warrior two and releasing that. Warrior two, let it go. Warrior two, and let it go. Turn your feet now so that they're either slightly turned out to go back into the goddess pose with the knees tracking over the feet. Full moon. Now gently heel toe your way toward the center of your mat. And draw your arms up, interlace them behind the head. So now you're going to tilt toward the opposite direction that you started with. So we have completed a full month of phases of the moon. And then come back to center. Place your hands at your heart, and this time, just energetically, breathe in and out of the left nostril, left side breathing. After the third breath like this, go ahead and breathe in and out of the right nostril, right side breathing. And then go ahead and balance out your breathing. So in Sanskrit, we worked the Ida and the Pingala sides. The Ida is lunar, Pingala is solar. And now when you're doing central breathing, you're working the Sushumna channel, which is directly up the middle. Okay, and just go ahead for a moment and walk around your room and see how you're feeling. See how your left and right side of your bodies are feeling energetically. Maybe just release anything anything you need to release. So the tree pose is the natural balancing pose that people tend to do with the moon salutation. If you want to use the wall is a lovely way to get into a tree pose and feel supported, especially if your balance is not feeling 100%. So I'll demonstrate at the wall. So I'm going to start with my back touching the wall as much as possible. And then literally, I'm just going to put my leg up a little bit to the side. It could be even down here on your top of your foot. It could be here. And then maybe draw my arms up. And if I'm feeling really good and strong, I'll kind of lean away from the wall. So, I was close enough to the wall, but I can kind of shift my weight enough so that the maybe only my butt is touching a little bit, or maybe not at all. So that could be a great preparation for balancing if you're struggling at all with balance. So once again, I started, with a little bit of support of the wall, and then I slightly leaned forward to get my body off the wall. The other way you can use the wall for tree pose is you can actually have the knee toward the wall. So now my knee is leaning toward the wall, and I'm doing my tree pose like that. And that really gets your turnout if you want to work on turnout at all. So that's another thing you could possibly do. And the feedback is kind of nice in terms of the hips. And then one other way you could use the wall in a tree pose is you could actually have your side against the wall, like this. And you might be further away just so that when you bring your arms up, you have one arm touching the wall. And then you could take the arm off. So things to kind of play around with if you're working on balance, but don't feel completely confident just doing this without a little bit of support. Okay, enough of that. So let's go ahead and work our way down toward the mat. And we'll do our mudra practice since we're sitting before we get down and do all our laying down practices. So if you want to do the mudra in a chair, you can go ahead and do that. And then we'll start doing twists and other things from the ground. So take your time. Most important thing whenever you're doing any sort of meditative practice is to make sure you're sitting in a way that your spine can be its maximum length to allow the air to shift up and down easily, and the energy also. So having a very nicely elongated spine. So whatever position allows you to do that, that's the position you should be sitting in. So if sitting cross-legged without some elevation of the hip does not work, then go ahead and add the elevation. So I think we'll do the lunar mudra today, the Ida mudra for the lunar energy. Let me find that one. Ida. And okay, it's about receptivity. So the lunar energy is much more receptive instead of active. And the theme is bathing in soft moonlight energy. I open to my receptive lunar qualities. Okay, so the hand setup is, let me get closer. You're going to touch the tip of your ring finger to the tip of the thumb of the same hand. and the other fingers are extended. And you're going to do that on both hands, ring finger to thumb. Then you're going to place the right hand below your navel with the palm facing up, and the left hand is going to face down. So you can lean these hands against your solar plexus. One is below, one is above, and these two little points are pointing toward each other. Okay. So if you feel comfortable to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. So Ida actually means comfort, and it's the name of the lunar nadi. It is your subtle channel of cooling energy that runs along the left side of the spine, all the way from your root chakra to the third eye, and then down out the left nostril. The Ida Mudra activates the free flow of energy within the Ida Nadi, naturally supporting us in connecting with our lunar receptive qualities. The gesture brings breath awareness and energy to the left nostril, the left lung, and the left side of the body. It calms and slows the breath while lengthening the exhale, which activates your calming nervous system, which promotes deep relaxation and restoration. It can also help reduce blood pressure. This gesture cultivates a sense of self-nourishment, inner healing, and the reduction of stress and anxiety. And your rhythmic abdominal breathing supports the optimal functioning of both your reproductive and urinary systems. Your guided meditation is nourished by soothing moonlight. As you hold the Ida Mudra, take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and sensations awakened by the gesture. Notice how your breath is naturally directed into the left nostril and the left lung, enhancing awareness of your entire left side of your body. For the next few breaths, sense the whole left side of the body expanding gently with each inhale and then softening with the exhale. As you deepen your awareness of the left side of the body, you naturally become more sensitive to your lunar receptive qualities. With each inhale, sense cooling moonlight ascending from the base of the body along the left side of your spine, going through the third eye and then down and out the left nostril. With the exhale, sense the cooling moonlight energy flowing back down again to the base of the body. Take some time to follow the upward and downward movement of silver moonlight. Bringing with it a sense of calm and serenity. As you experience greater serenity, visualize yourself floating on a soft moonlight sea. You're absorbing all of its receptive lunar qualities. Begin by receiving the quality of fluidity, the ability to flow with life cycles and seasons more easily, especially when you encounter challenges and difficulties. Take several breaths to sense the quality of fluidity within the Ida Nadi, allowing this quality to encompass your entire being. With greater fluidity, you naturally open to receive the quality of sensitivity. This enhances your ability to listen to your body's messages which in turn supports your powers of inner healing. As you integrate fluidity and sensitivity, the quality of intuition awakens naturally within your being. This provides you with the inner guidance for your journey. As you breathe along the Ida Nadi, take some time to receive any messages from within your being that guide your journey toward clarity, healing, and awakening. Take some time to breathe up and down along the Ida Nadi, sensing the unfolding of all your receptive qualities. This allows you to flow with life's stream more easily. You're able to perceive the subtle essence that underlies all created things. We'll affirm the receptive qualities, repeating the following 3 times, aloud or silently. Immersed in moonlight energy, I experience deep calm and inner healing. Immersed in moonlight energy, I experience deep calm and inner healing. Immersed in moonlight energy, I experience deep calm and inner healing. Slowly release the gesture. Take several breaths to bathe in the soothing moonlight. When you're ready, gently blink open your eyes, returning slowly and gently, more attuned to the receptive qualities of the Ida Nadi and your lunar side of your body. Okay, so we'll just do a few things on our belly before we come onto our backs. So you might want to spread your blanket out if you have not done so already, all along your mat if you need that. It's great for doing the sliding things that we do in Gentle Somatic Yoga. And okay, so to make your way onto your belly, you may want to shift back and forth a few times, either into melting heart, puppy pose, or all the way to a child's pose. As you come down, take your time, sliding on to the belly and either crossing the arms and having one hand on top of one elbow, or you can have the arms out in front of you with the fingers pointed away. So just begin to pedal 1 foot at a time from this position. So I'm tucking the toes in, and then I'm stretching one leg out, releasing it, tucking the other toes in, stretching other leg out, releasing. So this is lengthening one side at a time. The toe tuck draws the knee off the ground, and then with the heel pulling away, you're sort of gently tugging this leg out. Now go ahead and do both at a time. And you can release all the way down to flatten your feet. Now, if you want to, let's just do the upper body 1 or 2 times without the lower body involved. So you can either keep the arms crossed or extend them out. You're just coming up gently, feeling the engagement, and then releasing. Coming up on an inhale. and releasing. Third time. And some of you might be going up further each time and releasing. So now let's add the lower body in with the upper body. So tuck toes, engage legs, pulling knees off the ground, gently working our way up, releasing legs first, upper body second. Using your breath. Okay. Now, before we leave our belly, drawing a knee off to the side. And you can still engage the other leg, drawing that knee up and go into one. Back bend with the knee off to the side and release. Maybe doing that another time. And release. Slowly switching sides, engaging leg by drawing toes under, knee off the ground, sliding the other leg off to the side, lifting up and releasing down, and lifting up and releasing down. Let the foot go, let the leg go. Gently bend the knees, swish side to side, releasing any possible residual tension that may have been created in your back body. Breathe slowly and deeply and see how your body is feeling, how your mind and heart are as well, your energy. All right, let's gently make our way. Take your time, rolling over slowly, slowly. And for a moment, just allow your knees to bend, your feet are on the floor. You decide how wide you want this to be and allow your head to just slowly rock side to side. So draw your arms straight up to the sky and just lift one arm so that the fingers are slightly beyond the other one and then bring them back. We're just slowly, gently moving this shoulder blade. Do it 3 times. So my hands are not together. They're about shoulder width apart. And then the other one. So a very subtle move. Now cross the hands and reach for the elbows. Draw the arms to one side and back toward the middle. Draw them toward the other side and back toward the middle. Now, if you want to, the next time you draw your arms to the right, you could gently allow your head to go left and back to the middle. Next time your arms go left, your head could gently go right and back to the middle. Now we're going to add some legs in. So allow the arms to go right. Maybe allow the legs to slightly go left. Doesn't have to go fully. And back to the middle. Allow your arms to go left, your legs to go right. Your head's going to follow your legs. And back to the middle. Let's do that one more time. Now, if your shoulders will allow you to do this, Allow the shoulders to go over your head a little bit. And now you're doing the same thing. The arms are going opposite direction. Your head is sort of cradled in your arms and back to the middle. And then the other way. And back to the middle. And maybe one more time like that. Go ahead and release the arms down. Now, without lifting the arms off of the mat at all, just pull one shoulder up and let the ear drop toward it, and then go down to neutral. And then pull the other shoulder up, let the ear drop toward it, and down to neutral. And then see if you can draw your arm down your mat, almost as if somebody's pulling your hand, and back to neutral, and then draw the other shoulder down and back to neutral. And then just tuck the shoulders toward the ground more, release them, tuck them toward the ground more, release, and tuck them toward the ground and release. So let's start rolling our hips forward and back a few times, like a rocking chair or a swing. You can imagine you're being pushed on a swing, forward and back, or you're just engaging the rocking chair. So put your arms by, in fact, if you have a regular sticky mat or something you can grab onto, I'd have to roll my sticky mat up to be able to grab. Draw your hands and grab onto something as you rock into a little mini bridge. So your arms are holding on and then coming back down. You can rock forward, releasing your back off the ground a little bit. Flatten the back, roll up into a bridge. Use your arms to kind of grip and come back down and roll away. And then draw it back up and come down. Go ahead and release that. And you can either leave the leg bent or straighten. Put your hands underneath the other kneecap. So either with the leg straightened or bent, depending on how your low back is. Let's go up and down a few times. When you go up, point the toes. When you come down, flex. When you go up, point, and down, flex. And let's switch legs, either keeping the leg bent with the foot on the floor or lengthening it out, drawing the other knee in toward the chest. When you go up, point. When you come down, flex. When you go up, point. When you come down, flex. Now bring both knees in. And when you go up, point. When you come down, flex. And then put your hands on the front of the knees and press away. Pull it back towards you. Go up, point, flex, come down. Press the hands in front of the thighs. Push away gently. Draw it back in. When you go up, point. When you come down, flex. Go ahead and put your feet back on the ground. Let's stretch out very slowly and check in. Now, if you're not able to be completely stretched out because it bothers your back, you could either take a cushion under the knees, or you can just keep your knees bent, feet on the ground. If you can place your palms down, go ahead and do that. And let's check in the left side and the right side by doing a scan. You could start with your feet, comparing the left foot and the right foot. Does one feel colder than the other? Do you sense that one is turning out more than the other? Moving your way up to the ankles. Notice any differences there. Really directing your attention toward these parts of the body. Continue your scan upward. The backs of the calves and the fronts of the calves. Notice any differences. Can you sense one more than the other? How about the knees? I've had one knee tweaking and kind of messing with me this week, talking to me. Now focus on the thighs, front and back of the thighs. Let's move our way up toward the buttocks and the hips. This is where many of us feel the differences. Like one side is more on the ground, or one side is feeling a little more tense or tight. One side is more comfortable. This is just observation, curious, calm observation, no criticism. Moving up toward the center of the back. Hopefully you have an even space underneath that curve of the back on both sides. Now we're at the rib cage. What are you noticing between the right and left sides of the rib cage that are touching the ground? Shifting all the way up toward the shoulders. Anything different? Then how about the length of the right arm versus the left arm? Now the neck and back of the head. What are you noticing? So just for a moment, focus on the front body as the air is touching it. Focus on your breath. Breathe. And then we're going to either make our way towards seated for the last reading, or you can stay lying down in a shavasana. Do whatever final things you need to do with your body. I came across a beautiful poem the other day that I want to share with you. So as you're doing all the final things that your body is calling for, you can decide if you want to stay in a lying down, covered up position, or if you're tired of being on your back and want to be in a seated position for the final reading. Ah. Well, before I do the final reading, I want to maybe give you a little more information on how you could do this sort of guided look at your last year. So it's called the locking days. So you're wrapping up all your unfinished business for the year before the winter solstice and the new year. So what you would do is, if you decided to do this in a journal, you'd use your calendars and any photos from the year to jog your memory. And your reflections would include things like key moments, memories, or accomplishments that stand out for each month, and lessons you learned month by month. And then what are you leaving behind from that month? So they call this the year between the years. This time, because between December 21st and January 1st, it's a difference between the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. So because this time, the veil between the worlds is considered thin, dreams during this time can be considered prophetic. You could be receiving lots of messages. So from December 21st on till the new year, you might really keep a dream journal and notice that. So just a couple little things that you might consider doing as the year winds down. All right, let me get to my beautiful poem that I found. Okay, and this is called Peace. Do you think peace requires an end to war? Or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss, your spouse, yourself? Do you think peace will come some other place than here, some other time than now, in some other heart than yours? Peace is this moment without judgment. That is all. This moment in the heart space, when everything that is welcome. Peace is this moment without thinking that it should be some other way, that you should feel some other thing, that your life should unfold according to your plans. Peace is this moment without judgment. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. And that's a poem by Dorothy Hunt. That really struck me. I was listening to that when, we start getting so concerned about all the world events and things like that, and we think, oh, we're never going to find peace, or things in our own life are disturbed. But no, we can find peace in the moment if we don't judge, if we just be with it, everything that's there, and open our heart to it unconditionally. All right, so if you're not in a seated position, you might want to make your way to that position. If you are, I'll ring the final bowl and send us all on our way. So gather anything and everything from this practice that spoke to you and was helpful to you in your healing journey, and draw your hands into the heart. Let's acknowledge each other and say namaste.